It's getting a bit ridiculous, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. One sec. Keeping that in. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. I'm just a bloke in my room talking Steelers at my local time, 9:11 p.m. And I'm putting this video out tomorrow sometime during the day for your Saturday, my Sunday. Steelers lost 24-19. I just saw a tweet, and I might try and bring this up, from a bloke on the internet like you or Sheila, whatever, lady, guy, bloke, whatever it may be, right? His name's B Wall, and he says Super Bowl contenders to fire Tomlin tweets overnight. I don't know you, I don't know why, but why was I expecting anything different? It's in late November. Happy Friday. And that's why I kind of find this stuff just so ridiculous. And maybe it is a bit of social media. Maybe it is all, part of the YouTube game, part of this talk what you want to talk about Steelers. You guys are viewers, or you go on other podcasts, or some of you have podcasts and can have your say. Everyone can have their say. But I find it kind of ridiculous that we come back to this point anytime we have a loss. And yes, it wasn't a good loss, right? It wasn't a good loss. Tomlin and the Steelers are not good on Thursday Night Football against divisional opponents, right? But my video later on today, that's right, my video later on today will talk about the stat that most teams in the AFC North aren't good versus divisional opponents. They have a better record being at home than they do away. I come back to a football sense. And yeah, Russell Wilson didn't win the game, but he played okay. The pass to Calvin Austin was awesome. There were passes to GP, Van Jefferson, lose by 5 points. And some of the fan base is just waiting, sitting, waiting behind the fence, behind the door, thinking, okay, when are they going to stuff up? I think some of the fan base, to be honest, wants to be proved right. They want to be proved right. They want to see Tomlin lose. They want to see him go 8-9, in the season, 9-8, and get kicked out in the playoffs. It's one game. I was going to do a live today, and I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to come back, get my thoughts together a bit more. I didn't want to go totally crazy and totally off. I was going to do a live today, but no, I'm going to come back, I just finished work, have some dinner. I just finished playing Call of Duty, chilling out. And I was like, I need to vent this frustration that I have, because all you see is when you lose is the fire Tomlin crowd. And first of all, it won't happen. Like, it dead set won't happen. So why keep talking about it? You know what I mean? And with the game versus the Browns, yeah, they got one. The Browns are celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. They're going crazy, 3-8. You go to every single Browns Facebook or Twitter, social media, probably you walk around Cleveland. They're high ass. They're so keen that they beat us, and it was a crazy game. They're calling it the snow globe game. But I said you can't call it something like that in a lot, like in a losing team who's 3-8, But come back to it. In my Facebook, I've got another thing on Steel Nation Australia on Facebook. I put it out there, and every time I put out, different things about Tomlin, I always get this sense where when I talk about Tomlin, I always get the sense, am I allowed to talk about Tomlin, one of the greatest coaches in the NFL, one of the coaches that will go to be a Hall of Famer? Because the minute you mention Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers, you get this like, am I allowed to talk about him for this reason? Or, the minute I do and we have a losing game, or we lose a game like that against the Browns, then you get, that was typical Tomlin game. Typical Tomlin. In the NFL, people lose games, And yes, there was some choices, maybe the timeouts, maybe the fourth down plays, possibly, bringing in Justin Fields, and it didn't work, right? Maybe they felt rushed. But what if they go the right way? What if Waitman, our punter, kicks the ball down the field to the 20, and we have a good defense and we win the game? We win the game 19-18. Then we're talking about a win. Then we're talking about a win and getting better. And on the schedule right now, and I will do a gauntlet video. The gauntlet later this week, right? But I've been talking about this for yonks. And I won't do it in today's video. But they went 2-1 so far in the gauntlet. And now we're starting to shift our mind. We're going to watch the football in 2 days' time. There's no games that really affect the Steelers on Sunday. I might be doing a live watch party for the Ravens versus Chargers because we want to see the Chargers win, right? There's no real Sunday football that really makes any meaningful football for us. The Bengals have the bye. We have now a mini bye, getting ready for that. But it's funny because the minute I mention Tomlin, or I put a post out about Tomlin, I get back this kickback of, oh, we've only got 9-8. We've only got this. I feel like some of the people out there, not everyone, some of the people out there are sitting back. They're sitting back and they're waiting, and they're just waiting for the team to lose, in that sense, to be right. But if you look at it in a 6-game stretch, they went 5-1. In a 11-game stretch, they've gone 8-3, and they still control the division. And yes, there's going to be some mishaps and some mistakes along the way. So I find this really crazy how, it did feel like that a few days ago. It was Ravens. We beat the Ravens. We're so high on life. I can't believe that our Steelers are going so well. We beat the Ravens. Now we have a chance to own the division, run away the division. And there's playoff talk. There's Super Bowl talk. And then the minute we have a hard game, a little bit of adversity, and we lose to the Browns, 27 or 25, 24-19, then the fan base comes out. They come back from holiday. They're back from holiday, and they're like, hang on a minute. Tomlin lost. I'm going to go roast Tomlin. And we need a new coach. We need a new this. At this point in the season, they're not doing what the Jets are doing, firing their coach, firing their GM. They're not doing it. Just not going to happen. You have to try and think, maybe not from a fan perspective, but from a football perspective and from a Steelers organization perspective. They're not going to fire a coach who is 8-3. They're not going to fire a coach with 6 games to go, who could lead them to the playoffs and get a playoff win. I even heard talk about that TJ Watt was a bit slow. He's a bit washed right now. What's he doing? What's happening? It happens. If you didn't have the best game, they're trying to give highlights to Myles Garrett. I mean, he's talking about he's one of the best in the NFL, but they're a 3-8 football team, right? There were some big plays too. There were some good plays. Deshaun Elliott, forced a fumble. Nick Herbig had his time. It was a crazy game. It was a fun game to watch, but on our side, we just didn't get the W. And I think I come back to this point all the time that a lot of fans, I think, they treat this like fantasy football. They see that the Browns were 2-8, and that automatically should have been an instant W. But do you not remember, or don't forget that the Steelers and the Browns play tough football, and they play is very tough inside Cleveland. I think I saw another stat out there, another Twitter, or someone mentioned me in a comment and said the Browns are now 5-1 in the last 6-7 games in Cleveland. That could be wrong. I don't know. But in the last 4 or 5 years, the Steelers cannot win in Cleveland because they play as tough. They're trying to play spoiler mode. So don't get too much up in a fuss, because we ride the roller coaster all the way up. Super high. This team's doing really well. And the minute we have a bit of trouble or we lose a game, because football happens, and there were a lot of penalties, a lot of ill-disciplined play that you're like, okay, a minute, the offensive line. I watched it back. It wasn't the best. Dan Moore had one of his worst games probably in his career. I think Jones had one of his worst games. Even Zach Frazier in pass protection wasn't the best, and Russell Wilson's holding the ball. But it doesn't mean that the season's over. That's what I just find crazy. I know we got 10 days. We got almost 10 days. 10 days of a bad taste in our mouth. And all you see on the internet is fire Tomlin, fire this, the team sucks, we're awful. You forget about it, don't you? Forget about this and just grabbing a terrible towel and supporting your team. Yeah, you can be critical, and I don't mind that. If people want to be critical in the comments and say, hey, Mark, here's why we lost, and here's how we can improve. Here's what the Steelers, I think, should do at this point. Maybe they should use, less of Connor Hayward. Maybe they need a better fullback. Maybe they need better pass plays to Darnell, or get Frymouth more involved. How can the offensive line play better? Do they need to, can the halfback toss and start playing more north and south? Can they use Cordero Patterson in a better run scheme? Can they use Mike Williams, for example, to play receiver? I thought Calvin Austin had a good game. So in takeaways from this game, it's the fan base treats it like that a 2-8 team is a 1-star college team, and we should have walked over them inside Cleveland, inside the snow globe, and it was snowing, it was cold, it was a short week, and like I do in my video, make sure you watch the video later on today. Make sure you watch the video later on today talking about the stats. I won't give it away now, but it's almost like it was meant to be an easy game, but we forget that it's 60 minutes, it's real players, a real center, a real defensive line. There were players going out there hitting each other hard. You go and watch that play with Elena Roberts hit that guy in the face. It almost looked like he was concussed, right? These guys are hitting each other really tough. And I think to a certain degree, social media, and including myself on YouTube, I can make a video anytime I want to, anytime of day. I can put a video out there. People watch it. They can like or dislike. It doesn't matter. Social media, fantasy football, and I think overall commentary, including this one, has ruined football. We don't just sit back anymore and enjoy the game and go, oh, that was a great game. We won. Oh, that was a great game. We lost. Get them next time. It's that we overanalyze everything, absolutely everything. And when you are overanalyzing, I think you miss parts of the game where sometimes it just isn't your day. And I'll come back to, we need to fire Tomlin. Tomlin's never ready for these games, right? But like I said, go watch my video coming up in the afternoon, and I'll talk about the stats that back up that it's not just Tomlin in the AFC North that cannot win games away versus a divisional opponent. He's now 0-7, and the franchise, he's 0-7, and the franchise is like 0-8 or 0-9 or something like that, right? The franchise itself cannot win games away versus divisional opponents. So fire Tomlin. It seems like every time. And I've been talking about this for 4 years. 4 years. People are still saying fire Tomlin. That's like, it's not going to happen. Anyways, grab your terrible towel. It'll be fine. Over the weekend, guys, I'm working tomorrow. But your Sunday, Monday, I'll be doing more lives, more things like that. We'll be catching up. Hopefully try and watch the Ravens lose against the Chargers. It's heating up. I'm coming to Pittsburgh in 4 weeks. I can't wait. I'm getting keen. Getting ready. 4 weeks is Christmas. I'll be over there to versus the Chiefs. It'll be a tough game. I'll be there for 10 days. Be doing more content. Hopefully doing interviews with people, all that kind of stuff. A lot of stuff's happening on this channel. I had Urinating Tree, raid me the other day with Tom Grossi. So things are moving. The amount of support is crazy with everyone at HTU. I just get this overall sense of like people were so high and keen after a big win versus Ravens, and then we get a real low versus the Browns, right? And you just got to take it as it comes. The team's 8-3. They can go on a push now to win a few games, win 2 in a row, 3 in a row. Mike Tomlin and this crew, the same coach that some people want to fire, just got 5 wins in a row, then a loss. We had 3 wins in a row, 2 losses, 5 won. Why would you want to fire a coach that has the team at 8-3, still leading the AFC North and getting ready for a playoff push heading into December?